This weekend, I spent a lot of time backtesting just because I wanted to be more confident in my ability to execute trades because I realized a lot of my executions were trash this past week and I want to make sure that going forward, I am better at executions. So I decided to backtest two different strategies and I'll link the two backtests below. One of them was actually kind of surprising. So I know I didn't have enough data, but I want to see how it plays out this week. And each week I'm going to add to the backtest so I have a clearer understanding of what's happening in the markets. That way I feel more confident psychologically for entering into my trading models. If you're new here, my name is VJ. I'm on the path to becoming a consistently profitable day trader. In these videos, I share my wins, my losses, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what works, what doesn't. And if you want to follow me along on this journey, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's jump into the charts. So here we're looking at the weekly chart. As you can see, price actually came down right into the CE of this wick and started going up, which is a good sign, which means we might be potentially bullish. There's a lot of liquidity here, liquidity up here, liquidity up here. So I'm having a bullish bias for the week just because price came down to this wick. But of course, as the week goes on, my opinions may change. On the daily, same thing here. Price came down into the CE of this wick and then started rejecting and going higher. So there is a bunch of buy side liquidity up here where I'm thinking the target is. There's also liquidity up here, so I do have a bullish bias for right now. 4 hour, we're right into this CE of this gap. Now we do have some sell side here, so it's possible that price may want to come sweep below here before it continues rallying up, but we will see how the 4 hour plays. On the 1 hour, something that I want to draw here is a new week opening gap. So to draw that, you use the closing price, which is here, and you drag it to the opening price, and then use the week opening gap template, and there we go. So price tends to gravitate to this gap. It's like a magnet according to ICT, and I have seen that happen a few times. If you see here, these two new week opening gaps, the price has been literally bouncing around the two and it's respecting it. So it's just an area of interest. 15 minutes going straight up, but again, I see a bunch of relative equal lows here, which is a good area for price to come down to. Plus it's on the new week opening gap, so I do see price eventually coming down here. But also notice this is a new week opening gap up here as well. Price came and hit it. Now we'll see what happens. My rules for today, something I'm working on, is risk management. Number one thing is I have a daily max loss of $300 today. Last week it was $500, but I realized I hit that 3 times back to back, so I was down $1,500. So I want to reduce the probability of that happening again by making my maximum daily loss $300. So if I hit $300 negative for the day, I'm done trading. I close the charts, and I may still tape read just to learn, but I won't be executing any more trades. The second thing, I am waiting for price to get to an area of interest where it's likely to reject. And once it gets there, the number one thing I need to look for is a sweep of liquidity. If no liquidity is swept, there is no entry. And that is a extremely hard and fast rule for me. That is something I will not violate. So no liquidity means no trade. After that, I need to see a break of structure. And ideally it's with a aggressive displacement candle, but it doesn't have to be. I just need to see some sort of break in structure and showing willingness to go lower, and then I would enter using a order block, a fair value gap, a breaker block, or a mitigation block. And then from there, I'm going to target my first low-hanging fruit objective on the 1 minute chart, as in where's price most likely to go to on the 1 minute chart. And that could be a most likely an order block or a fair value gap. And that is my rules. One more caveat, it needs to be at least a 1-to-1. Ideally, it's 1.5 to 2R trade, at least for right now. I want to see how my results are. So that's the criteria I'm going to be judging myself on today. The win losses, it doesn't matter. That's not how I'm going to track my trades. What I'm going to do is, did I follow my plan? And based on that, I will give myself a score. Taking a look at Forex Factory, we have no high impact news today, which is good sign, so I don't have to really worry about any unexpected price swings. I mean, it may still happen, but less likelihood. Tomorrow there's news at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. which I need to be prepared for. Wednesday 8:15, 8:30, and then 8:30 Thursday, 8:30 Friday, and 10 o'clock. So this week looks like a lot of activity is going to happen, so I just need to make sure I don't trade before 8:30 and then be in cash tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Taking a look at the price right here on the 1 minute, looks like we're just consolidating, so nothing to trade here. On the 5 minute, I do want it to if we are bearish, I wanted to take out the swing low. I think that'd be either a good target, or I'd want to take this out. I think that'd be a good target. There's also a fair value gap here, so this would be my target if I were to get short somewhere up here, but there's no entry model yet. Okay, so since price is going up, I'm thinking the drawn liquidity is right here on the 15-minute. There is a bearish order block at the 44.52 level. I just went ahead, drew this line. We'll see how price reacts up here. If before we get to this price level at the 44.52, if the price wants to come back and retest here, there's an order block I could enter in on and a fair value gap. I would probably put an entry here and put a stop here. It's 5 handles of risk, and it looks like it did. I mean, it didn't really take out liquidity, but it did come a little bit lower. So I don't know, probably not a high value trade just because there's a ton of liquidity right here, but that's only if it wants to come down before it reaches this objective on the 15-minute. Okay, so price is coming down. I did put an entry here. Once I get filled, I'm putting a stop underneath here. Things gonna, I mean, we'll see if I get filled. If I get filled, get long here, and then I'm going to exit at this bearish order block on the 15-minute. Yeah, this is part of my strategy. It's a trend continuation, not a reversal, but let's see if I get filled here. My target 44.52. And that is this line right up here, just a little bit lower. It's hitting this order block, which is a good sign. I need to see how this closes on the 1 minute. Good, it's rejecting. This is exactly what we want to see. That's a good sign. And I think it wants to come up here. I guess my biggest concern with this is that there is a bunch of liquidity here. It did break above, but it doesn't seem like a liquidity sweep to go lower. I think this was a break to come down. It's respecting this fair value gap. It hit the bullish order block. I need to see if it wants to close below the mean threshold. If it does, I'm exiting, but until then, I think we are clear to go. We got 20 seconds. I'm getting ready to close a position based on how it reacts right here where it closes. I mean, it's good. It's coming here. It's showing rejection, which is a good sign, and it is going higher. The 5-minute came into close to the CE, which is a good sign. Looks like it wants to go higher because of 15-minute drawn liquidity is this order block right here. So I'm trying to exit at this level, this fair value gap a few ticks below. Good. That's a good sign. Exactly what I was anticipating. Order block going higher, which is good. And here almost up $200, but you know, this is where it's fun just waiting and watching and trying not to give away any profits. I guess I have anxiety with this position because I did not backtest trend continuation strategies. Mine is a counter trend or trend reversal strategy, and so that's why I'm not fully confident in this trade. And if I stop out, I mean, it's going to be close to my max daily loss, so it makes me wonder if I should just close early or just let it play out. But so far things are still looking bullish, which is a good sign, but I do need to make sure that I backtest strategies before I trade it, because I literally put my stop right here underneath all this liquidity, and that's exactly where you get hurt, right? Putting your stop right at liquidity. So I think we are good. Price came up here, it stopped at the mean threshold or higher on this 1 minute, and remember, it's a 15-minute draw on liquidity, so I need to keep in mind that it's going to take a few minutes for it to get there. So far we're good. I just need to do a little bit more back testing on this, just because I put my stop exactly where all the liquidity is. So I just need to make sure it hits that, and then yeah, everything looks good so far. So I think we are good. I'm gonna look at this, up almost 300 right now, but I need to make sure, yeah, I'm thinking it wants to get up here. Yeah, no, part of me just wants to close out of this position just because I don't think I followed my strategy. I didn't wait for a sweep of liquidity, and I'm trading off the 15-minute time frame, which is, I don't know, even though I am bullish, there was no sweep of liquidity, so it's possible to come take out all this liquidity before it goes higher. So I don't know, it might also just be a fear. So I'm going to see how this minute candle closes, because everything is still pointing bullish. And again, I have this fear because I have not backtested trend continuations, so they're all closing right at this order block or a little bit above, which is a good sign, but there's liquidity right here and a bunch right here, which is not great for me. So I just really need to see it shoot up, and if it does, that's a good sign. It's like I could have closed earlier, but decided to stay in. I think I'm just gonna go ahead, close, and just get out of this trade at break even. Yeah, I closed, got out at break even. I did not backtest this strategy. I don't think I was following my trading plan, so I just wanted to get out because I don't trust this trade because I didn't backtest it, and so got out at basically break even. So that is something that I need to work on. There was no liquidity sweep, and that is literally my first criteria, and because that did not happen, I decided to close. There we go. Would have gotten stopped out if I did not close. So I don't know what it was. Maybe it was trader intuition or just me realizing that I was wrong, so I decided to close. I guess it wasn't as aggressive as I wanted to, but it is taking out liquidity right now. There is a bunch of sell side liquidity down here on the 4-hour and on the 1-hour, so we need to wait and see where price wants to go. If it takes out this right here on the 5-minute, I would say that is a break of structure, and we could possibly look at entering short. But even though this looks like a break of structure, it also took out liquidity, so I don't know where price wants to go right now, so I am not entering into any trades. I guess to give away the price was going lower, and I think I mentioned it, is that price closed at mean threshold, and that's usually a reversal sign, as it's not that strong as I would have liked it to be. So immediately after that, I could have gotten out at a slightly better profit, but still it's not following my trading plan. But it's about reading the tape like this and seeing what clues the market is giving. So here, the 1-minute price did sweep liquidity, and I want to see if there's some sort of entry pattern, because I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, so what I noticed is on the 5-minute, this did not take out the swing low, which means we might still be in an uptrend. So this could just be a liquidity sweep, and I think price may want to continue going higher to this 15-minute line I drew here, but I don't see an entry pattern here for me to enter in on. There is a fair value gap, but I don't know. I guess I could enter on this fair value gap 37, put a stop here. That's 5 handles of risk, and I don't know if that's not an A+ setup for me. So it's almost like I'm trying to force a trade, and this one I get burned, and so I am not going to be trading this until I get a little bit more clear direction on where price wants to go. Also on the 1-hour, we're literally right in the fair value gap. That's not really useful, as in it could go up, it could go lower, so we need to see how 10 o'clock treats us and what happens in about 2 minutes. Also, I remember something else I learned when I started trading is I created a daily bias, and I based all my trades on that bias, but turns out that bias is wrong, and I wasn't able to adapt my trading mindset to actually accommodate for what was actually happening. As in, I was blinded by what's actually happening in the charts because I made a bias at the beginning of the day. And so that's something I need to make sure I work on, as in, don't create a daily bias. I need to create a shorter term bias. Where is the next likely drawn liquidity on either the 15-minute, 1-hour, or the 4-hour chart? Even though I think the market wants to go higher for the day, it doesn't necessarily mean that is a good time to get long. Right now, I need to look for long opportunities. Okay, so the reason I'm not entering long yet, even though it did take out liquidity, is that it did not break of structure. So I would have ideally liked to see a strong enough bullish candle take this out, and that would signify, hey, we're going higher. Then I would look for a entry on a fair value gap. Right here, we stop right at this order block, and there is some liquidity right here. There is a fair value gap you can enter in on, but it's not my model, so I am not going to enter in just because it did not take a swing high out. It actually looks kind of bearish right here. So on the 5-minute, stopped right at the mean threshold. It's coming here, hit this order block, basically swept liquidity. I need to see some sort of displacement. Looks like it's broke some structure on the 5-second, but again, I can't really rely on the 5-second for anything. And then I could potentially enter short here, put a stop right up there, and I could. But we are in a consolidation right now without a clear sense of direction. If you look at the 5-minute, this is exactly where I've gotten burned in the past, trading in these choppy environments, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so taking a look at this, it looks like, swept liquidity, came here, price came into this fair value gap. It's just consolidating for a bit, but again, I'm not making a trade right now. It did close right at the mean threshold, which actually indicates potential bearish price action, but I am just tape reading this, not trading. There's nothing here that is screaming at me to enter in long, other than the fact that it took out liquidity, but that alone is not enough. Okay, again, not entering, but looking at the 15, this is a typical retracement kind of bearish candles right here, and I want to see how this next, we still have 13-14 minutes left on this. I want to see it go up. That would confirm my hypothesis that we are bullish, but I want to see how this candle closes. Of course, I won't be able to participate. This purely just for tape reading. Okay, so still tape reading this, but take a look at this. The 5-minute closed up here, which is a good bullish sign. I want to see if it comes into this order block, and that would be a potentially good long to write it up, but I am not participating in this trade. because I would need to put my stop below here, and I don't want to do that. Alright, so this is exactly what I said. So create these retracement candles right here on the 15-minute. There's a bullish candle, so it may come down into this order block possibly, and then I think the target is still right up here, which is interesting. So I guess in the next time, because this was liquidity did get swept, came into this fair value gap, but I don't know, my intuition was saying it was likely to go higher, but I didn't enter because I never back tested this, so I'm happy I didn't, because it doesn't matter what my intuition says. I think that's I don't think that's the best way to trade. I think you need to have a systematic approach and just trade that, and that way you don't have fear, because maybe I was wrong and then I'd just be on tilt being like, oh no, the market's wrong, and I'll start blaming everyone else except myself. And so by following my plan, I think that would be, I think that's the best thing that can happen. So in the future, even right now, I think I did the right thing by not entering into this trade, because I saw liquidity get swept. There was no change in market structure. Looks like there is now. Now I want this liquidity to get swept. I could probably enter in somewhere here, but then I would be forced to put my stop at relative equal lows, which I do not want to do. So that means I would not be able to enter this trade. And this is also a trend continuation trade, kind of on the lower time frame. So I need to create a strategy for trend continuation, because that's something that I'm just never able to participate in, and it kind of hurts me because I'm just sitting here watching it and I just don't have the confidence to do, just because I never back tested it. So I think that's going to be something I work on for the next few weeks, back testing trend continuation trades using ICT's concepts. So I'm looking at seeing where this black candle is going to close. If it closes below the mean threshold of this order block, it means that's a no-go. If it stays above it, it may still be bullish. So that is what I'm looking at. So something I see here are relative equal lows again. It's possible it may sweep this, come down here, and I could put a stop here. So this might be another entry, 3 handles of risk, and create relative equal highs here. So I want to see how this candle closes on the 15-minute. If it closes at mean threshold or higher, I may try to enter in below these relative equal lows right here and put a stop here. So 3 handles. Okay, so price came exactly to where I wanted to enter right here. I did not enter because the 15-minute did not close, and I'm not extremely convinced because it actually creates some relative equal highs here. So price might want to come up here later on to target. The 1 hour, looking at it, looks like the body actually closed right at the CE of this fair value gap, and we may go a little bit lower before going higher possibly. There we go, 15-minute close below the mean threshold, so glad I did not enter long. That is most likely a bearish sign, the fact that it cannot respect the mean threshold. Geez, yeah, price is just tanking lower, which is expected. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking would happen after this 15-minute close below the mean threshold. So I did have a bearish bias. There is a fair value gap on the 1 hour that we're going through right now. There's a bunch of relative equal lows by the New York midnight opening and the new week opening gap right here. So on the higher time frame bias, I think this is our next draw on liquidity. But that is, you know, seeing exactly how price would react on this fair value gap, right? We have 5 minutes. I want to see how price closes here. It created relative equal highs right here, so it's possible that we may go take this out and then come down. So we're not fully sure where price wants to go yet, so we're just gonna wait and see what happens over the next 5 minutes. Okay, so taking a look at this, the 1 hour came right into this fair value gap and it's going higher, so we still have a minute left. I wanna see how this closes. Looking at this, the 1 hour came into the fair value gap. Now we wanna see what's gonna happen. I mean, 1 minute is at this bearish order block, so I don't really have a clear sign of where the market wants to go. There's liquidity right here on the 1 hour, and there's liquidity underneath, so I need to wait for a little bit more confirmation. Price came here, went up, came down into this order block, and I want to see if it displaces above. Again, still not sure where the higher drawn liquidity is, just because it didn't show a crazy willingness to go away on the 1 hour. It stopped right here with the fair value gap, so I'm gonna wait for a little bit more what our trade anyone enters into, or at least if I enter into, would be low probability right now, so I'm not entering into anything. Okay, so price looks like it just kind of manufactured liquidity down here, and I'm gonna wait for a sweep of liquidity before aiming to get long if I am bullish. Okay, so looking at the 1 hour, just continues going lower. There is a bullish order block here and a bunch of liquidity here, so I'm thinking drawn liquidity is bearish. 5 minute came, respected the mean threshold, so that does signify bearish price action. It's a fair value gap and an order block for me to possibly enter short on, so I'm actually going to put an order right here and put a stop right up here. And I was using the 5 minute chart for that, so it's good. It does go hand in hand. There is a fair value gap, which is a good sign. So we'll see if this gets filled. I'll update you guys in a sec. So I watched a YouTube video on how to trade trends, and I haven't backtested it, but I'm still gonna do this. It's because this looks bearish, hasn't stopped at the main threshold, it goes down. There might be an entry right here, which actually creates a 2R trade for me because I want to target these relative equal lows as an exit. So I want to see if I can enter in and target this. The reason being is on the 15-minute, there is this order block right here. On the 1 hour, we didn't quite hit this order block area. There's a bunch of liquidity, the New York midnight opening times down here. So I do see it as a good bearish trade, and a 2R, I think that is a good risk reward. So let's see if I get in here and we'll see how this goes. Something to keep in mind, it's almost lunchtime as well, so usually that's when liquidity gets swept. So we will see what happens here. Okay, watching this, let's see if I get filled. I mean, these two together create the order block, so I may not get filled, but I'm okay with that. If I were to enter here, my risk reward would be a little bit off, so I'm entering a little bit more conservatively, which I'm okay with, and that actually goes coincidental with the CE of the 15-minute wick, so I'm okay if I don't get filled. The main reason why I'm still interested in the shorts that create a relative equal lows, it did not take out liquidity. If it took out liquidity, then I would think, okay, maybe it's not the best trade, but the fact it left this here means that it's a good target for me, so just waiting to get filled. Take a look at this. I was just one tick away from getting filled, so yeah, I don't know if that's a lesson there or whatnot, but sometimes it's like that, right? So right here on the 1 minute, price did sweep this liquidity, went into this fair value gap, but I missed my fill by, I guess, a tick or two. So we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll still get up there, but still not in right now. So basically everyone that got short right here on this wick, their stops are above that, and there we go. I entered into, I am now short. Here's my trade, put my stop here, and targeting these lows. And that's exactly what I like to see, immediate rejection. So wicked it out. I want to see it just drop lower, but see how this goes. Okay, so I want to see how the 15-minute closes. It closed in 40 seconds, and I want to see if it respects the CE of this wick. If it does, we're good to go. If it closes above the CE, I may exit. So we'll see what happens in 30 seconds. Okay, so closed below the CE, which is a good sign. So there's a bunch of liquidity down here on the 15-minute. I'm still targeting that. I think I still think this is a decent high quality trade. The only regret I have is I did not backtest this enough, but usually order blocks are good areas of resistance, so, and it's a 2R trade, so I think we are good. Regardless win or lose, I think it is a solid setup. Now we just need to wait and let this play out. Good. I stepped away for a quick minute, came back, price is going my direction. My target is right at the low, so it's not actually exactly 2R, it is 1.75, but I'd rather it just sweep it out. I don't know how much lower it would want to go, so that is the thing with my exits. The actual trade is just consolidating, it's not moving as aggressively as I would like it to. It actually stopped right here at the main threshold, so I don't know, maybe it wants to continue going higher, but yeah, we will see how this plays out. Just watching this, it's going right to my target. Now we wait. What a tease though. It actually came right to this order block. It's rejecting against it, so it may go up here possibly and come a little bit lower. Part of me just wants to exit just because I guess I just want to lock in the profits, but I think we should be good. I mean, I just want price to come take out this liquidity. It's just hanging around here for a little bit longer than I'd like. It might go up a little before it comes down. Maybe it's just engineering more liquidity. I don't know. I move the target just a little bit. I just will capture an extra 2 ticks. Yeah, I want to just close manually, call it good, because I don't want too much retracement. If you guys are liking this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It will really help with the YouTube algorithm, and it'll help me share my experiences with the rest of the trading community. Went ahead, closed it. It's not exactly the best quality trade. I mean, I think it still wants to come down here, but I guess I just didn't have the patience to hold it, or I just don't want to. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to go back down now. So I mean, I just missed out on an extra 2 handles or so, which was an extra $100. So definitely did skew my risk to reward because of impatience. And this is something that I need to work on. Just let the target get hit and don't exit early unless I am convinced I'm wrong. Look at the 5 minute, doesn't look like I'm wrong, right? It came, touched this exactly where I thought. I put my stop. Next logical target is down here, as in I just needed to become more patient to let the trade work out, and I did not. I decided to close early, and because of that I cost myself about $100 or so in extra profit, and this will probably happen in the next few minutes. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I think I just needed to be more patient. So the main reason why I exited market instead of waiting for the target to get hit is, with this momentum I expected to take it out immediately, and that's the whole point of my trading system. It's supposed to be very get in, get out type of trades, but I did not want to deal with this retracement. Maybe, goes takes it out now, but I also did see that came hit this order block on the 1 minute and it rejected off that. So it could retrace up here, maybe even higher, but just kind of let's just lock in your profit, some of it, and then get out. So yeah, I missed out on some profits, but I'm thinking I did the right thing because I saw this change my opinion on what's going to happen, just because it came, touched the order block, showed willingness to go higher, and is not required to come down and take out this liquidity. It could go do something else first before it does that. This could honestly just be engineering liquidity, so I could actually try to take another short right here at 44.30, put a stop right about here, so I'm going to try that. We'll see if I get filled, but if I enter here, I'll put a stop right above here. Will be tight and then targeting these lows, but I see that price actually came right to this order block. So I do see that price actually came into this fair value gap, filled in this gap completely. Now maybe it wants to go lower. I don't think it wants to go above here, but I'm happy to get short if it goes here. I'll put a stop here, so that'd be a really good risk reward for me, but not sure if it actually will do that before taking out liquidity down here. Then on second thought, so I just canceled that trade. It's because this makes sense when we are trending. The fact this did not take out the lows means we're no longer trending, means getting short here could be a lower probability trade. And so because of that, I'm going to do nothing, wait for liquidity to get swept before I figure out the next move. So I cancel the order, back to cash. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Maybe I don't know if trader intuition's saving me or what, but take a look at that because I exited. I don't know, started going up. Maybe if I put my stop here, let's see if I would have gotten stopped out. I think I would, but it just left these relative equal lows here, which is okay because I think this would be a target for later on. There's a fair value gap here, an order block on the 1 hour, so I think this is a solid target, but not sure where price wants to go right now. Remember, we're still in the lunch macro. Maybe it does want to target these a little bit higher, but no liquidity is swept. That means there is nothing for me to trade on here, and we're just gonna wait it out. But I am happy I exited when I did, because yeah, after it didn't, these red candles, there was a rejection right here. At the moment I saw that, I knew that we were not exactly in the best trade, and then I saw this green candle, so decided to close. Okay, so taking a look at this, I want to see how the 15-minute reacts to this bearish order block right here once we hit this new week opening gap. Based on the reaction, it could potentially be a good short to target these relative equal lows, or it could continue going higher. On the 1 hour, it's literally a doji. If you zoom out, right, goes up, goes down right in the center. So this is in 5 minutes, so very indecisive. So we just need to wait for more information before making any more trades. Okay, on the 15-minute, actually closed right below mean threshold, around the 25% mark. This means it's not super strongly bullish, but usually the best short trades I see is that it closes exactly at mean threshold, so I don't know what's about to happen. So let's wait for more information. The 15-minute actually closed right at the mean threshold, which is a good bearish sign. I'm going to start looking for shorts, and I'm going to use some mitigation blocks. Basically, as price is going down, I'm going to look to get short on up close candles. I watched one YouTube video about this, so we'll see how accurate it actually is and how it works. But if I do get short there, I'm going to target this order block on the 15-minute. But I also want to see how this reacts to this fair value gap right here. Take a look at this on the 15-minute. Basically stops here right at the mean threshold. It wicks above the buy side liquidity and then comes down, takes out the sell stops right here. So let's see if there was any entry models for me. I was not able to participate in this, but came here, this right here. The fact that it took out this low, I think this is a change, or this is a break in structure, comes into this fair value gap. We could have put a stop here and then could have ridden it down, I think. So that could have been entry. Another one is there's this mitigation block. Price comes right here. We could put a stop right here. There's another entry right here on the 1 minute, comes into this wick. Another one right here. We could put a stop right here. There were some good entries and then comes down and it just takes out all this liquidity. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in this. I was not at my computer, but it's cool to see, just tape reading and seeing how price delivers. Okay, so price just basically came here, came right to the new week opening gap. It's going down. I do see a break of structure here. I'm going to enter in short on this bearish order block at the 44.3475. And we'll see if I get filled. Stops can be up here, and then I'm going to target relative equal lows. Okay, I got filled. I'm going to target this order block right here. Once I'm moving my stop here, it should not go above this order block. Okay, so I have a very tight stop. It's a 5-hour trade. We'll see how this goes. I am a little nervous. It's not moving as aggressively as I wanted it to, so I'm actually going to go ahead and close this probably on the next tick or two. But then again, it did respect the main threshold, so I don't know, maybe does want to go lower. I mean, it was a tight stop. I think it's a good R multiple trade. I just really need to see it displace below this to get more confidence. There we go. Okay, glad I'm still in. So this is exactly what I want to see. Make it go a little bit lower, maybe come retest this. Jeez, well that's good. It's gone the direction I wanted it to. My target is right here in this fair value gap on the 15-minute. Price is coming down, still not at the target. Just need an extra candle or two. I'm gonna enter into another short, and that's gonna be a really tight stop. And here we go, almost hit it. There we go, just did it. So sold up here and we closed right here. So that was a solid trade. Here we came right to our target, right into this fair value gap on the 15-minute. Not sure what's going to happen next, but it is rejecting off that. But I think that was a good quality trade. Awesome. Well, I'm really happy I exited where I did. Remember, I took the short right here and I exited to the tick almost down here, and after that price just ripped up, and on the 5-minute 15-minute actually came and swept the buy side liquidity right here. So that was a solid exit, and I'm happy I made that trade. And it's 4 o'clock, so that means the day is done. Yeah, taking a look at this, literally solid entry, this blue carrot right here, I exited 1 tick above the lows, so that was a perfect exit. Overall up 575 for the day, which is good. Compared to last week, I was hitting this as a max daily loss every single day, so that is a good start to this week. Overall, it was a good day. I know I created a list of rules I wanted to follow. So number 1 thing, risk management. I luckily did not lose any trades, and when I realized I was wrong, I was able to get out before my stop got hit. So that was a great idea, so that way I would reduce the probability of me hitting my daily maximum loss. The second thing I did was, while the markets were doing its thing, I went on YouTube and I was learning how to trade with the trend using ICT's models, and I decided to implement it in today's trading, and it worked out. That's why I was able to make that last trade, which I just showed you. And lastly, I was happy I did not make too many counter trend trades because there was not really too many sweeps of liquidity. I did follow that rule, as in if it was counter trend, I waited for a sweep of liquidity. There really wasn't, so I didn't trade that style today, but I did do a trend continuation, which was a better model for today. Even though surprisingly, we were in a consolidation on the higher time frames today. If you guys are liking this video, hit the like button, subscribe. It will help with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll be able to provide more value to more people who are getting started in this trading journey. If you like this video, I think you're going to love this video.